This is the Toby LaGrange Show. With who else? Toby LaGrange. And it starts right now.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode number 58 of the Toby LaGrange Show. This one entitled A Wet and Dirty Super DIRTcar Series Preview. The Super DIRTcar Series for big block modifieds kicked off in the month of February down in Florida at the Volusia Speedway Park with 4 nights of exciting racing action. Those nights, though, were non-point events for the Super DIRTcar Series. The point season opened up just about a couple weeks back at the New Egypt Speedway down in the Garden State of New Jersey. 37 drivers entered that event at the New Egypt Speedway. It was the second annual Power in the Pines presentation from the staff down there at New Egypt for the Super DIRTcar Series for big block modifieds. Defending Billy Whitaker Cars 200 champion Stuart Friesen picked up the win. He passed 2-time and defending Super DIRTcar Series big block modified champion Matt Williamson on lap 24 and dominated the rest of the way to pick up the W. Alex Jankowski finished second, Logan Watt was third, Matt Williamson was fourth, and Loudon Reimer rounded out your top 5 finishers. Anthony Perego, Eric Rudolph, Ryan Godown, Felix Watt, and Alex Payne rounded out your top 10 finishers. Now let's take a look at the 2025 schedule events for the rest of the Super DIRTcar Series for big block modifieds.
The second points-paying round of the 2025 Super DIRTcar Series for big block modifieds was set to take place on Saturday, April 12th at the Can-Am Speedway up in Lafargeville, New York. However, the Thunder and the Thousand Islands event was postponed due to Mother Nature. That event will hopefully be made up later in the season. More on that in a little bit. Let's take a look at the remaining events on the Super DIRTcar Series schedule for the big block modifieds. The series is back in action on Friday, April the 18th for the 60th anniversary celebration at the Albany-Saratoga Speedway in Malta, New York. On Tuesday, May the 13th, it's a Delaware Diamond 75 at the Georgetown Speedway down in Georgetown, Delaware. On Sunday, May the 25th and Monday, May the 26th, it's a very special Super DIRTcar Series Memorial Day weekend doubleheader. First up is the Heroes Remembered 100 at the Weedsport Speedway. That's on Sunday night. And on Monday, it's the Natural 77, a race run in honor of the late Dale Plank at the Thunder Mountain Speedway in Lisle, New York. The series heads down to Coal Cracker Country, down to Big Diamond Speedway in Pottsville, Pennsylvania on Tuesday, June the 3rd for the Anthracite Assault event. On Wednesday, June the 4th, the series shifts over to the Selinsgrove Speedway, in Selinsgrove, Pennsylvania for the Snyder County Showdown. On Thursday, June the 19th, it's Mr. Dirt Track USA, the 2024 Hellbover version at the Lebanon Valley Speedway in West Lebanon, New York. And on Sunday, June the 29th, it's the first trip north to the province of Ontario in Canada for the Cornwall Motor Speedway's O Canada 100. On Monday, June the 30th, it's the Summer Shootout 75 at the Mohawk International Raceway in Hogansburg, New York. And the series is back in action on Thursday, July the 3rd to kick off Independence Day weekend with a Stars and Stripes Spectacular at the Land of Legends Raceway in Canandaigua. On Saturday, July the 26th, it's the Hall of Fame 100 at the Weedsport Speedway out in Central New York. And on Monday, July the 28th, it's the King of the North kickoff at the Autodrome Drummond Speedway in Quebec. The very next night, the series stays at the Autodrome Drummond Speedway for the finale of the King of the North for another great event north of the border. On Wednesday, July the 30th, it's the Canadian Classic at the Brockville, Ontario Speedway in Brockville, Ontario. And on Monday, August the 11th, it's the Steel Valley 75, presented by Capital Renegades Custom Coaches at the Sharon Speedway out in Hartford, Ohio. The very next night, on August the 12th, the series moves to the Ransomville Speedway in the Niagara region of New York State for the Ron Martin Summer Nationals. That's the Ron Martin Summer Nationals on Tuesday, August the 12th. The next 4 nights on the schedule, August 17th through August 20th, is the Summerfest event. On August 17th, they're at the Weedsport Speedway. On August 18th, at the Brewerton Speedway. August 19th, they're at the Land of Legends Raceway. And the finale of Summerfest is on August 20th at the Fulton Speedway. On Thursday, August the 28th, it's the 2025 version of the Mr. Dirt Track USA event at the Lebanon Valley Speedway. And on Friday, September the 5th, it's the R.D. Hutchinson Memorial at the Can-Am Speedway up in Lafargeville. The very next night, on Saturday, September the 6th, it's the Cavalcade 100 at the Weedsport Speedway out in Weedsport. And a couple weeks later, on Saturday, September the 20th, it's the Malta Massive Weekend at the Albany-Saratoga Speedway in Malta, New York. On Thursday, October the 9th, it's qualifying day at Super Dirt Week 53 at Oswego, and the granddaddy of them all for dirt modified racing here in the Northeast and, well, pretty much anywhere. Super Dirt Week 53, the 200 lapper, the Billy Whitaker Cars 200, as it's been known, at the Oswego Speedway. That's Saturday, October the 11th. Back on the schedule is the Fall Nationals at the Brockville, Ontario Speedway. That's going to take place on Friday, October the 17th. And then all the teams pack up and head south to the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway in Concord, North Carolina for the World of Outlaws World Finals on Wednesday, November 5th through Saturday, November the 8th. So that's a look at the 2025 remaining events on the Super DIRTcar Series for Big Block Modified schedule.
So let's talk a little bit about the cancellation of the Can-Am event up at the Can-Am Speedway in Lafargeville. Super DIRTcar Series schedules that event every year, and lots of times it does get rained out. It has gotten in, 3 of the last 6 years, something like that. It's irrelevant. It's a race on the schedule. And as many have said online, including Dean Reynolds, it hurts nobody. It's on the schedule. If the weather's going to be bad, we cancel it, and we try to reschedule it for later on in the season. If the weather's not going to be bad, you get a home run, and the track sets himself up for the year with a nice turnout on opening day. I've read a lot of things online, heard a lot of things too from friends who were complaining about it, and I asked a simple question: who's it hurting? The race was canceled a few days in advance. I believe it was canceled on Wednesday, giving plenty of time for teams to cancel the hotels and to make other arrangements if they have to. Lots of people have common sense out there, and common sense tells you it's a 50-50 shot at best to get the race in, but it's worth a shot. Some years you're going to have 70 degrees and sunny. Some years you're going to have 27 degrees and snowy and rainy. And we just happen to have the latter here this year. Kudos to both Can-Am and the Super DIRTcar Series for keeping the race on the schedule, because when it does run, it's always an entertaining event. It's a win-win for everybody, actually, when you think about it. You get a race, and if you don't get a race, Can-Am gets their name out there. They get a race later in the year, a second race later in the year. So it really works out for everybody. Now, the Toby LaGrange Show will be recapping each of the Super DIRTcar Series events for the Big Block Modifieds throughout the season, as well as each of the events for the DIRTcar 358 Modified Series, the DIRTcar Sportsman Championship Series, and the DIRTcar Pro Stock Series. So make sure you stay right here to the pages of LaGrange Media Productions for all of those recaps after each event. I want to thank you very much for watching episode number 58 of the Toby LaGrange Show. As always, stay safe. Remember to support cancer research and support those that support racing. So long for now.
Thank you very much for watching this episode of the Toby LaGrange Show. Remember to like and share this episode all over social media. And if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the LaGrange Media Productions channel. This has been a production of LaGrange Media Productions.